CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Mekovic.
And we begin with breaking news. A dump truck fire has lanes of southbound 101 and the off-ramp closed in San Francisco. This is at the Silver Cow Palace exit. Video from Citizen app you're watching here. This is, of course, backing up traffic for miles. Drivers are asked to use alternate routes if you can. At this point, Caltrans says there is no estimated time of reopening. Thanks for joining us. People all over the country also still talking about President Trump's State of the Union address, which was sometimes contentious. The president touting his own accomplishments while blaming Democrats for all of the wrongs in the country. Natalie Brown breaks it down from Capitol Hill.
Before an audience of Congress and the American public,
this is the golden age of America.
President Trump touted what he called a turnaround for the ages, arguing his policies are lowering prices and blaming Democrats for lingering inflation.
They caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
The president also defended his border crackdown and immigration enforcement operations.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up.
The president's assertion put the partisan divide on clear display.
Of criminal aliens.
It comes as Congress remains at an impasse over DHS funding, with Democrats pushing for ICE reforms after federal agents shot and killed 2 Minneapolis residents.
They have killed American citizens in our streets, and they have done it all with their faces masked from accountability.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, delivering the Democratic response, criticized the administration's tactics and argued it's her party that's focused on affordability.
Is the president working for you? We all know the answer is no.
The record-long State of the Union address saw a few moments of bipartisan unity as President Trump awarded 2 medals of honor. And this standing ovation for the gold medal-winning USA men's hockey team.
Now, the gold medal-winning U.S. women's hockey team was invited to this speech, but politely declined, citing previous obligations. The White House says that the women's team will meet with the president soon. There's a downed tree in Oakland causing a morning commute headache. This was along part of Highway 13 on the northbound side. Not clear whether rain was the cause, but of course we did see a lot of downed trees and power lines over the last couple of weeks. And we are now seeing lingering showers in parts of the Bay after our latest storm. We know these storms well, but one of the biggest challenges has been predicting their timing and just how intense they're going to be.
Exactly. So I had the opportunity to actually go up with the NOAA hurricane hunters, and we flew over, and I'm going to pull it up just below me right now. We flew over this atmospheric river that's pushing its way, of course, into the West Coast. We got the tail end of it just last night into the early morning hours. But to show more about that, I'm going to send it over to this package.
To better understand atmospheric rivers, you have to go to them. And the only way to do that is to climb on board this specialized plane. I flew along with the NOAA hurricane hunters in today's mission, Atmospheric River Recon.
Additional aircraft on guard. NOAA 49 will be dropping a weather instrument.
Most people know the hurricane hunters for flying into extreme hurricanes. But during the winter, when hurricane season is over, this aircrew gets assigned to our side of the country. On board the modified G5, NOAA scientists using high-tech equipment partner with the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes on a mission called Atmospheric River Reconnaissance. Instead of chasing hurricanes in the Atlantic, they now fly directly into Pacific storms headed for the West Coast. Director of Research at CW3E, Luca De La Monache, is aboard this week's flight.
We are making measurements in a portion of the ocean where there isn't really any measurements. This is very important because it allows us to significantly improve the accuracy of the predictions.
Over the Pacific Ocean, there are very few weather balloons, ships, or radar sites. So forecasters are essentially predicting a major storm with limited information. This plane fixes that.
The data we're collecting is over a data sparse area, so there's not much data over the Pacific Ocean. So the data we're collecting is filling in the gaps and helping improve forecasts.
Inside the aircraft, scientists deploy instruments that collect data every few feet through these atmospheric rivers moving towards the west coast.
This right here is a drop zone. It collects humidity, pressure, temperature, and the winds, and we're dropping 24 of these today. The importance of today's mission, we're collecting a lot of data that goes into real-time models that us as meteorologists use to forecast your Bay Area weather.
And it makes a measurable difference. Studies show that these reconnaissance flights can improve atmospheric river landfall and rainfall predictions by up to 20 to 30%, sometimes giving communities and water managers extra days of warning before flooding begins. Researchers say that climate change is increasing how much water these storms can carry, meaning stronger atmospheric rivers are becoming more likely.
What that means for California, that most likely in the next few decades we'll have more intense storms, more intense atmospheric rivers, and less frequent storms. But then that also means that we will alternate between very dry periods, long droughts, and wet periods, which will be a challenge for society to deal with.
And every winter, the hurricane hunters will now fly into them, not to study a hurricane, but to help California prepare for these challenges.
To better understand what's going to happen tomorrow, we need to know what's happening in the current moment, and that's why our data helps improve forecasts.
The aircraft will continue flying missions through the remainder of the winter storm season. Each flight helps refine rainfall forecast here in the Bay Area, sometimes by several inches, which can make the difference between a routine storm and a flood warning.
And we are going to post Jessica's story online at kpix.com so you can watch it anytime. In the East Bay, tens of millions of dollars in school cuts on the line. The Oakland Unified School Board meets tonight to vote on a budget plan that includes layoffs as the district tries to close a $50 million deficit. District leaders say an official list of positions slated for cuts will go to the board this fall. By state law, preliminary layoff notices have to go out by March 15th. A strike could disrupt the court system in San Francisco. Court officials are warning that clerks could hit the picket lines as early as tomorrow. Clerks say they plan to walk out unless court leaders address long-standing staffing issues and training concerns. If that happens, Superior Court officials say they will shift into triage mode, prioritizing constitutionally required and emergency cases while other matters are delayed. Mountain View just voted to shut off its flock cameras and end its contract with the company. That move comes as Santa Clara County leaders are pushing for stronger privacy rules around license plate readers. The city says out-of-state agencies accessed Mountain View's data, and council members responded by voting to terminate their partnership with Flock Safety. County supervisors also heard from dozens of people who called the cameras a threat to privacy and civil rights, arguing the money should go to community-based safety instead of tech that can track every driver. The City of Oakland celebrated safe routes to school traffic safety improvements on a corridor in Chinatown. Those improvements were made along 10th Street between Webster and Madison and included repavement, new curb extensions, and an island-protected school loading zone around Lincoln Elementary. Officials say that will make the easy area safer for pedestrians and bikers.
What we've created is a 10th Street corridor that is indeed walkable for pedestrians. There's bike safety and very innovative ideas to improve overall safety.
The Oakland Department of Transportation worked in coordination with Alameda CTC to complete this project. BART is reporting a strong start to the year with ridership continuing to grow. The transit agency reporting a 10% increase in January trips compared to last year, with over 4 million new boardings and exits. Those new numbers are a positive sign for the transit agency, attempting to shore up a $376 million budget. And earlier this month, the agency made a significant shift in its contingency plan to address its deficit, no longer requiring station closures. The plan would be enacted if the regional sales tax measure called Connect Bay Area fails to pass in November. Still ahead here at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, welcoming our Olympians home, how the Bay Area is celebrating and cheering them on. And let's take a live look outside before we head to break, that is a view of the city of San Francisco. Still plenty of ominous looking clouds. We're going to get more on our weather forecast from Jessica right after this. All right, taking a check on Wall Street. Live look at the big board this Wednesday afternoon. The Dow is up about 300 points. The gains partially because of some surges from the Bay Area's NVIDIA and Oracle. You can see them here courtesy of FinViz, gaining about 2% and 3% respectively. A landmark social media addiction trial underway in Los Angeles, with the young woman at the center of the lawsuit testifying before the jury today. The now 20-year-old, referred to as KGM, alleges that using social media from a young age fueled her depression and suicidal thoughts. Her attorneys are accusing Meta and YouTube's Google of deliberately engineering their platforms to get kids hooked, damaging their mental health. Parents and advocates rallied outside of the LA courtroom today calling for reforms.
I am asking for safety by design and third-party independent verification of the safety features.
We're calling on our Congress to pass federal legislation like the Kids Online Safety Act that would make sure that these companies were designing their platforms with the safety of our children in mind and having a duty of care that they're responsible for the products that they're putting out on the market.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who testified last week, has repeatedly said there's no scientific proof social media causes mental health problems. YouTube parent Google says the allegations in these complaints are simply not true. Questions over AI and the military. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is pressing AI company Anthropic to loosen limits on military use of its technology or risk losing federal business. A person familiar with the Tuesday meeting says Hegseth gave the company's CEO until Friday to allow broader Pentagon use. Anthropic is the San Francisco-based maker of the chatbot Claude. They say they want to keep guardrails to keep AI out of fully autonomous targeting and domestic surveillance. And this new video into our newsroom shows a couple of vehicles completely swallowed up by a sinkhole. This was at a stoplight in Nebraska. It happened yesterday afternoon. Pretty incredible. Here is a closer look at the top right of your screen. Traffic camera footage shows bystanders there jumping into action and helping pull the drivers out of their cars. According to the Omaha police, nobody was injured. Crews later used cranes to remove the two vehicles from the sinkhole. Wild. All right, back to our first alert weather with a live look outside. What do we got here? Golden Gate Bridge, one of our favorites.
All right, well, I have friends in right now visiting from out of town from Florida, and, I'm so grateful they get to see the Golden Gate Bridge. And more often than not, we have a couple months in the year where it's completely soaked in. So seeing just a little glimpse of it, it's beautiful. But hey, we were just talking about this earlier. We were talking about the atmospheric river that swept all throughout the West Coast, leaving behind some lingering showers here in the Bay Area. That started happening last night into the overnight hours. We fell asleep to the sound of rain, and then suddenly we woke up this morning to some misty conditions. But it wasn't a big washout by any means. I mean, take a look at the numbers. Up to around 1/10 of an inch in places like Vallejo, all the way up into Napa, similar numbers there. The most impressive microclimate, Oakland, topping off at around 1/4 of an inch from last night's system. But now we're actually starting to dry up. Better yet, let me just pull up our live Doppler radar next to me so I can show you. We're actually just seeing those showers push throughout the Sacramento Valley up into the Tahoe region. Back here in the Bay, we're dry as can be. And taking a look at Futurecast as we head into the evening hours tonight, early morning hours tomorrow, nothing to be concerned about at all. So we're actually starting to see a nice calm break, and we're going to warm up as we head into the next few days too. Daytime highs today, they're actually sitting, this was this morning, they're sitting in the 70s. Daytime highs in San Jose, Morgan Hill sitting above average, same trend all the way down into Hollister. Stretched over into Salinas too. But let's head up a little bit closer to wine country now. We're in the mid to low 60s in places like Vallejo and Oakland. A little bit warmer the more north we go, all the way up into Santa Rosa, for example. Let's take a look at the next 7 days, because now we can finally take a breath of fresh air as we start to warm up a little bit more into the next few days. 70s returning to the Bay. That means upper 70s in those inland microclimates. We'll cool down a little bit more into this weekend. Still holding on tight to those clouds. You take a live look behind me. Let's just zoom out a bit. That's live from our rooftop here at KPIX, overlooking the Bay Bridge and all the way off into the East Bay. That's going to be the same picture for us each day as we head into this weekend. And then once we head into next week, we get a quick splash of showers on Monday before we start to warm up and dry up with sunnier skies right around the corner as early as Tuesday. I'll have more on that coming up in a bit. Now back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. The Sharks' Macklin Celebrini is back from winning a silver medal with Team Canada in the Olympics in Milan. He was just on the ice for practice in San Jose. Celebrini led Canada with 5 goals, was second with 5 assists, and was named to the Olympic All-Star team. The Bay Area also celebrating Olympic champion figure skater Alyssa Liu. Check out this new billboard in Oakland. I think we're going to have that for you. Yeah, Oakland leaders say they are working with Liu's team right now to lock in a date for a community-wide celebration. The 20-year-old is a Richmond native who trained at the Oakland Ice Center. She won 2 gold medals in Milan. Oakland says it will announce the date and details for a celebration as soon as they are finalized. And we know that Alyssa is back in town because last night Trabaco in Alameda shared that they were honored to welcome the gold medalist and hometown hero to their restaurant. And San Francisco's own Eileen Gu will be back in town serving as the Grand Marshal for the city's Chinese New Year parade. She is bringing back with her a gold medal and 2 silvers from the Winter Games in Milan, making her the most decorated Olympic free skier in history. You can see her on one of the big floats for the parade. It's happening March 7th, starting along 2nd and Market Streets. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area, Survivor getting ready for season 50 on CBS. How viewers can get into the game this time around. The much anticipated Survivor season 50 debuts tonight on CBS with 24 returning players. Survivor first aired in May of 2000, putting grit, strategy, and alliances on prime time. Huge part of the season 50 is going to bring the viewers into the game. That includes immunity idols hidden in all 50 states, leading for a chance for fans to win prizes. Now, Walnut Creek native and Survivor 49 winner Savannah Louie is going to be back to compete. You can watch the 3-hour premiere of Survivor 50 tonight at 8 on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Coming up, a partnership putting Uber rides in the sky. How fast you could be cruising. Uber is taking ride-hailing to the sky. The company just rolled out Uber Air powered by Joby. Check it out. Later this year, you could tap your cell phone in Dubai and call an electric air taxi instead of a car. Yeah, this is wild. Each aircraft seats 4 people plus a pilot, cruises at around 200 miles an hour, and can hop about 100 miles on a single charge. Okay, so that is just in Dubai right now, but yeah, I guess the future is here. And that is it for the afternoon edition. In the meantime, remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Just go to Live and then choose Bay Area. Meantime, enjoy your Wednesday.